Hey everybody, happy Front Row Friday. It's Marilyn Sherman coming to you from High Point University. I'm in my room with a beautiful view of the track and lacrosse field. And today's message is about dealing with negative people and negative energy of people around you. And the reason why that is today's Front Row Friday topic is because after speaking to several classes yesterday of undergraduate and graduate students, a couple of the students came up to me and asked me about, well, what about other people's negative energy? Because I was speaking on front row leadership and how to have a front row seat in your life. And part of that obviously is to have a positive mindset. So these students were concerned about other people. So like any question that is fielded to me, it all depends. It's situational. So for example, I've got three things for you if you are around people with negative energy, because it depends on if you are in a relationship with them, a friendship with them, or it's a stranger. So here's one suggestion is to show some grace, because we're all going through a lot. There's a lot going on. There's heightened anxiety and heightened emotions going on in this day and age. So first and foremost, try to react with a little bit of grace. Check in with people. If it's someone that you know, if it's a friend, if it's someone that you're in a relationship with and they're bringing on the negative energy, just stop and show some grace by asking a question like, hey, how are you? Hey, what's going on? Hey, can I get you a cup of coffee? So if you show some grace and ask a question to check in with them, because maybe they're going through something that's pretty heavy and they just needed to vent and decompress. So that's one option. Another option is, let's say it's a friend of yours who is constantly and consistently bringing on this negative energy like all the time. Well, one of two things is going to happen. Number one, either you're going to get tired of it and you will eventually just sort of avoid that person, which is also not good because then that affects the relationship and the friendship, or you are going to be sucked into that vortex of negativity. And now now you're being just as negative as them. So here's a hack for you when you're around that kind of a friend. And I got this idea because I had a coworker one time that every single day she would come to work and she would just spend the first 5 minutes of her day just venting and complaining and everything on and on and on. So one day I sat down with her and I said, okay, today, 5 minutes tops, talk about anything you want. But then after, I'm going to choose to have a really good day. And she got it. She's like, yeah, I don't need the 5 minutes. So she didn't realize how negative she was being. Now, sometimes people who are real negative with their energy, they gravitate to other people that they can commiserate with. And if you set a boundary, like, you know what, you got 5 minutes and then that's it, because I'm going to choose to have a good day. You're setting a boundary so they know they can't just constantly go to you and dump all their negative energy. So that's another way that you can protect and preserve your positive energy, even around negative people. Now, the other one, the third idea is, if you don't know this person, like this is not a person you're in a relationship with, but you're with them in a public area, or for example, I travel quite a bit, and let's say I'm standing in line with someone who has just got all this really negative, angry, aggressive energy, and I don't know them, so I'm not going to check in with them like, are you okay? Are you all right? Do you want to go grab a cup of coffee? That would be highly inappropriate. So what I would do is I would try this hack next time you're around someone like this with a lot of negative energy. I just make something up about their childhood. And what that does is it protects me, and it protects, I divest emotionally. And that's a good term to remember. Divest emotionally until you gather more information, or divest emotionally to protect yourself. Don't jump into their negative energy. So here's what happens when you make up a story about someone's childhood. For me, it's like, oh, I look at someone like this, I'm like, oh, it's so sad. They probably grew up in an environment where there wasn't a lot of positivity. They probably have never been to a personal development seminar, or they've never read a positive book, and they've obviously never heard a motivational speaker talk about how to get a front row seat in life. So as I'm making up a story about someone's childhood, it doesn't excuse them from their behavior, but what it does is it protects me from that negative energy penetrating into my day. So That's my suggestion for you today on this Front Row Friday, but I have a bonus for you. And I told this to the students yesterday as a reminder. You're in control of your energy every single day. You have a choice every single day if you want to be positive or negative. You have a choice if you want to sit in the front row of your life or meander around in general admission or live in the balcony. I choose to live in the front row. And if you're having something that happens in your day and something happens first thing in the morning and you're tempted to say, I'm having a bad day, please remember this. There's no such thing as a bad day, only bad moments that people choose to nurse all day long. And so if you have something that happens first thing in the morning and you're tempted to call it a bad day, or a cousin to that, you say, oh, it's going to be one of those days. I want you to stop, take a time out, and then reframe it. Say, you know what? I'm having a bad moment. And the nice thing about saying I'm having a bad moment is that as soon as you acknowledge it, that moment has passed. So don't ruin your entire day by one incident that happens in the morning that doesn't go your way and that you're disappointed with something that happens in your day or a mistake that happens in your day. Just acknowledge it as a moment and then move on. So on this Front Row Friday today, I challenge you to be positive and optimistic. I challenge you to set boundaries around negative people. I challenge you to protect your energy. And I also challenge you to go out and have a great day. I'll see you next time.